Hi, everybody. Dr. Ron here, Dr. Ron Repesi with Rejuvenations. I have many of my patients and clients asking about, some of the people that I like to follow either on YouTube or, with respect to Instagram or even on iTunes, things of that nature. And so, here at Rejuvenations, we really focus on helping people heal. Inflammation is our key word right now. How do we reduce inflammation? We're starting to do some metrics so we can test out, what levels of inflammation you may have, so we can do actually a blood spot test. But, I learn a lot each and every day from many people, including my own people that come here. I learn from patients and clients every day. But some of the Dr. Ron faves here at Rejuvenations, you'll see. So I put this whiteboard together here. And at the top of the list, not really in any particular order, but I do love what Lewis Howes is doing. Lewis Howes from the School of Greatness. His podcast is a School of Greatness. He is really, really doing a wonderful job. Each one of these folks is changing lives. So Lewis Howes, School of Greatness. The second one, Ed Mylett, is someone brand new to me, and he's out of California as well. And I love his podcast. He's a good Christian man, and I'm really, really enjoying what he's doing. Hashtag Max Out. He has a book that, each one of these folks pretty much have books that they've written, but Ed Mylett is phenomenal. And then Tom Bilyeu, who was originally from Quest. It was called Inside Quest. He was one of the founders and formulators of the Quest nutrition bar. And then he sold off that company, and now he has Impact Theory. And so I love what Tom Bilyeu and his wife are doing. So Impact Theory is amazing. You'll also see on the list Mark Sissons. He has the Primal Kitchen dressings that are made with the avocado oil. So Mark Sissons is someone I love. If you really want to learn about lowering your carb rate in the keto realm. So he's all about the term metabolic flexibility. It's a word I learned basically through Mark Sissons. How do we become a good fat burner? He was a marathon runner. He's not a doctor. He formulated several nutritional products, and he's just doing a phenomenal job. He just sold his Primal Kitchen brand to Sysco and Kraft Foods, I believe. And so next on the list, Ari Whitten. I don't follow him as much as the others, but Ari is doing a wonderful job. If you're interested in energy or the term mitochondria, and he also is really passionate and has written a book about red light, since we're very into the red light therapy. So Ari Whitten is someone you might want to look at. Again, his podcast is The Energy Blueprint. He just had his brother on recently, who's a chiropractor. I really enjoyed that interview as well. And next on the list, Jason Fung, I started following several years ago. He had a book out called The Obesity Code. Jason Fung is essentially reversing the vast majority of his type 2 diabetic cases. He's a nephrologist, medical doctor, really, really broke out the ketogenic diet program here in this country. And so you'll really want to look at him. Very well spoken. Next on my list, Rhonda Patrick, which I really picked up on in giving good props to Joe Rogan. Rhonda Patrick has a podcast called Found My Fitness, and she has Sachin Panda, Walter Longo, all these great scientists that go over, a bunch of different very complex mechanisms, but also she tries to break it down and puts the information as far as the explanations of each of the terms on her videos. She's done a really great job so you can better understand what they are talking about. She also has really done quite a bit on heat stress and cold stress when it comes to sauna therapy and how profound that can be for the human body, and cryotherapy as well. So Rhonda Patrick, Found My Fitness. Brian Rose from London Real, I really like what he's doing. That's been a newer podcast for me too. It's called London Real. A few of these guys have their own educational programs now. They're basically forming their universities. So that's someone you might want to take a look at. Again, Brian Rose with London Real. Joe Rogan, I've already mentioned. He has a whole host of different people on his show, and so I really learned about some of these folks, like Rhonda Patrick was one of the key ones, but Joe Rogan from time to time, I really enjoy his content. Of course, Dr. Mercola, I think most of us know about Dr. Joseph Mercola. He's kind of the pioneer and has the largest natural healing website, or certainly one of the pioneers of this. And so Dr. Joseph Mercola, who's now local to us here. I think he's in Fort Myers or Cape Coral area. I know he's right with us now. So, and Mark Sissons is now in Miami also, I just mentioned. And now we have, I think, Tony Robbins over there. Real estate wise, I've been looking at Grant Cardone. But again, Joseph Mercola, I think many of you may have heard his name. And so he's definitely, if you want a plethora of health and healing information, that's certainly one to go check out. The Dr. Gundry podcast, I really like what Dr. Stephen Gundry, cardiovascular surgeon, his information, the plant paradox, the longevity paradox, I think is the other book he's written. Really well spoken, brilliant guy, enjoying his information as well. And I think we all know Dr. David Perlmutter. And if you don't, he was a neurologist here. He's retired now from his neurology practice in Naples, Florida, right where we are, and was on Oprah and wrote the book Grain Brain, which I met him personally. He gave me a copy of, and now he has a book out with his son called Brainwashed. So that's something that you might want to look into. Really, really great. He's got some great information. He's become really, really popular. And so I think you might have heard of him since he's a local yokel, Dr. David Perlmutter. As we move down a little further, I do love the ministry. And so one of the ministries I'm totally loving is what Pastor Steve Furtick from Elevation Ministries, it's Elevation, what I have that there? Elevation Church. I'm thinking of Elevation Worship because their worship band called Elevation Worship there in North Carolina through Elevation Church is phenomenal. And of course, we all know Joyce Myers Ministries. So again, you can look through these. I'm going to take a screenshot of this, but just kind of going back through Lewis Howes, Ed Milet, Tom Bilyeu, Mark Sissons. See if I can get a little in there closer. Ari Whitten, the Energy Podcast, the Energy Blueprint, Jason Fung, Rhonda Patrick, Brian Rose from London Real, Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan Podcast, Dr. Mercola, Dr. Gundry, and then our local Dr. David Perlmutter. So anyway, it's a little long, but if you guys wanted to get some good content to learn about health and wellness and longevity, these guys are just incredible. And the people that they interview are amazing. These are game changers. These are people that made it big, that then hit it rock bottom. So you hear the good, bad, the ugly. You get into aspects of relationship. Some get into a little bit into the faith and spirituality context to a slight degree. But for the most part, other than Pastor Steve Furtick and Joyce Myers at the bottom, which I love that side of podcasting too, the ministry. I also follow, you'll see over here, TBN. TBN is the TV show, Trinity Broadcast Network. I really enjoy. I follow Creflo Dollar there. Just phenomenal stuff. So anyway, this is Dr. Ron Repese with Rejuvenations, showing you some of the things that I'm doing and who I learned from, and some of the things that or some of what I hope to emulate and do myself. So hopefully I'll be joining the ranks one day with my own podcast and really following suit. So Dr. Ron Repese with Rejuvenations. We love you all. Feel better, look better, be better is our mantra, and helping crush inflammation and boosting mitochondrial energy. And I'll catch you soon on the next interview or medical moment. Signing off, Dr. Ron.